Welcome to the Straight Edge Game Room 7 Night Special. I would hope that you are not watching this spooky special by yourself, for you are about to embark on Semana del Chango!
Did you want to pick another game? Alright, let's see what you got. Ooh, Donkey Kong Country, that's a good one. Let's pop it in. In the later years of the 16-bit wars, I was a 12-year-old 6th grader when Donkey Kong Country came out. Within these later years, there were some very ambitious titles that were really pushing the limit of what 16-bit consoles could do. We were wowed and bedazzled by games like Star Fox, which had the FX chip. Even on the Sega Genesis, there were titles that used chip enhancements to make the graphics look more advanced. But in 1994, you had this clever feat of graphical engineering. But as graphically impressive as this game looks, is it any fun? The answer is yes, though it's a departure from the original Donkey Kong that many of us remember from the 80s. This is a completely new adventure where you play as Donkey Kong's grandson, if I understand correctly. And you're not alone in this brand new adventure, you are accompanied by Donkey Kong's bromigo, Diddy Kong. There's a lot of Kongs in this game, but I don't think they're all related. Well, I would hope that Donkey Kong's not related to Candy Kong. That would just make things weird, and this is a family show. This game is an athletic side-scrolling platformer much like the Super Mario Bros. Series and Sonic the Hedgehog. In following years on various consoles, we have seen many side-scrolling platformers, but this game is very unique in its own merit. It's not an impossible game, but it is tougher than any of the Super Mario Bros. Games or any of the Sonic the Hedgehog games. Earlier, the stages are manageable enough. Then there are also some stages that have some fast-paced problem-solving aspects that really require you to be sharp and nimble. It's not as brutal as games like Battletoads, but you really gotta be quick-witted. In other words, this game is very tricky. You just gotta pay attention. But thankfully, you can farm for lives and tally them up. You're really gonna want those extra lives because if you're anything like me, you're gonna mess up a bunch of times. But with repetition, you do get better at this game. This game is 2 players, so both of you can tag team the levels, with one being Donkey and the other being Diddy. I didn't have a second player, so I can't really show you that, but it's there if you guys want to test it out. And in one player, you can switch between Donkey Kong or Diddy Kong so long as both are on the screen. And if you get hit and lose one or the other, don't worry, just try to survive until you find one of these barrels that say DK on it. Smash it, and your tag team partner is back in action. But if either of them are alone and get hit, well, that's one life counted against you. So the bromigos gotta stick together. Now there are some minor differences between the two. Donkey Kong is a little bit heavier and stronger than Diddy. Donkey Kong doesn't have a lot of trouble eliminating heavy-set enemies just by jumping on them. Diddy, on the other hand, is lighter, so he struggles with this. He can still eliminate them by doing cartwheels, but he's at a handicap by jumping on them. Since Diddy Kong is a little bit lighter, he can also jump a little bit higher. There are so many things I could talk about in this game, but it would take a long time to cover it all, so I'll talk about the most important stuff. You really want to do your best to survive these levels and get to Candy Kong. This is where you save your game, so after you've beaten some unbelievably tough levels, you really want to get to Candy Kong. Even if you beat some levels after you get to her, you really want to go back and save. This game is tough, so Candy Kong gives you a checkpoint if you get a game over. Another Kong in this game who's going to be very important to you is Funky Kong. He helps transport you back to the worlds that you've already completed. This comes in handy when you want to go back to a level where you know you can grind for extra lives. The final boss battle and main antagonist of the whole game is King K. Rool. This guy is a real pain in the butt and he is very tricky. You really gotta be on your toes to beat him. And after you win that boss battle, Cranky Kong reprimands you for not beating this game 100% because you didn't unlock every single thing. But at this point I'm like, you know what, forget you, I beat the game, I won, I don't care. Sure, I understand that's for replay value so you can explore this game further and unlock some other things that you didn't before, but right now I just don't feel like it. Donkey Kong Country is pretty easy to find out in the wild, however it can fetch for $20 and up. Not terribly expensive, but it does fetch for a little bit more than many other retro game titles. But it holds its value in fun and replay value. It's a great title that's aged very well and maintains its appeal even after all these years. Definitely worth picking up. Well, that about does it for this installment of the Straight Edge Game Room and night number 5 of Semana del Chango. If you enjoyed this program, please like, subscribe, share on social media, reference my video catalog for past episodes of the Straight Edge Game Room, and I'll see you again next time. Take care.